Have you ever wondered what happens if you put a dragon and a wolf in a ring together?
At least twice a day.
Well, we find out for certain tonight. Gentlemen, raise your beverages. It is an NXT party.
And go. And action. You ready now?
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 70 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General, Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
We are back to the General. We are also joined tonight by the Griff. We've got Mark Griffith. How's it going, Mark?
Doing good, man. I'm glad to be back. Back for, I think this might be my third week in a row, so feel like I'm getting a little spoiled here. So either way, I know I can't do it all the time, but either way.
Well, don't worry. We'll eventually just start ignoring you like we do the rest of them.
Oh, we always need a guest. We always need a guest.
Hey,
And if you would like to be a future guest, you can leave a comment down below with an email address. You can find us on Facebook or Twitter or any number of fucking sites.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, this was a pretty good episode. Not the best, but not bad. Had 4 matches and an in-ring promo, all in just over an hour.
I think also what this did was, like, this is more of a setup show than anything else. Because each of these matches actually sets up towards another match that's going to be happening, you know, soon after. So...
Well, I don't know about every match doing that. The first match was Trent Seven versus Kona Reeves.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah, it did. There at the end. Okay. So I'm underestimating the aftermatch. In match, this was okay. I was not expecting to see Kona Reeves, other than the fact that I read the description of the show before I watched the show. I was like, fuck.
It's like reading the TV guide. You know, you get your little lay of the land of what's going to be happening, but at the same time, it never is what's promised. You thought you were going to get Kona Reeves the other night, and what happened? Ricochet beat the hell out of him before he even got to the ring.
This is true. So, I was mildly impressed with this match, mostly because Kona Reeves came out and cut a promo that was just, it sucked the life out of the room.
Yeah, it did.
So for him to get in the match and actually pull off a decent match with Trent Seven was, at the very least, uplifting. What did you think about the opening match, Griff?
I thought it was alright. The outcome actually surprised me a little bit because I was like, man, this guy's coming from the U.S. They're giving him a mic. He's going up against Trent Seven. This is like a statement match. You know what I mean? This is kind of his UK introduction. So I figured he was going to go over. I really did. I mean, even though he was going against Trent Seven, I thought that there was going to be some type of shenanigans and that they were going to make a statement with him coming over here, and it didn't really work out that way. I mean, he was aggressive throughout the match when he slung him across I think he put the apron over top of him and started beating him while he was hanging over the mat.
Yeah.
And he was showing a little bit of being aggressive. I mean, I like that part, and when I fed into it, I was sold by it. So that's why, like, when he didn't get the win after the promo and the kind of debut, it surprised me. But it was a good match, though.
It did not surprise me. We're talking about Trent Seven. Trent Seven is a main eventer, even if he is tag team main event. He's a main eventer in NXT UK.
He's not the golden boy, but he is a silver fox.
Kona Reeves is a jobber.
Yeah.
He in NXT UK, as good as he looks, and as good as he is progressing, every time we see him in the ring, of course, we don't see him in the ring but like every 8 weeks. So, got to be progressing in 2 months' time. He's still a jobber. So, I expected Trent Seven to win. Trent Seven won. He worms his way out of, he calls it, the Hawaiian drop instead of the Samoan drop. And my criticism of this move forever has been that he doesn't drop it any different than somebody would a Samoa drop. So it doesn't make sense to me why somebody would land on their belly instead of their side or their back.
Yeah.
In this match, he goes to run into the Hawaiian drop.
Yeah.
And that's what I said he needs to be doing all along. Because it makes sense. Kind of like how Ryback would run for, I can't remember the name of his move, but, it just made it a different move. He just didn't hit it. Trent Seven wiggled his way out and then hits a burning hammer and gets the 1, 2, 3. But I didn't see Kona Reeves winning. At no point, like especially after that terrible promo.
Yep.
Oh, that was horrible.
I think where he went wrong there is he was trying to play up to the crowd entirely too much and trying to get them to boom and whatnot. With his kind of delivery and whatnot, it's one of these things where he needs to speak less but make sure the words are actually, important. He's kind of started rambling after a bit just to get under people's skin.
I'm wondering how much of his promo was scripted and how much of it was just him rambling.
He's no MJF.
No.
And
I was actually wondering if he gained like maybe 25, 30 pounds, he would kind of be like Damian Priest size. Maybe. I mean, he's a good worker. I mean, his strikes up. He's got convincing strikes to me. I just feel like if he put maybe on 25, 30 pounds, be like I said, Damian Priest's size. They could maybe push him. I don't know, but I feel like this was the opportunity. If they were going to do anything with him, that this would be the time. And you've seen the direction they chose with him. So.
He might not have the right body type to look like that, though. If he's got all lean muscle, then he's going to be lanky, and there's nothing that he can do about it.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it till my face turns purple. He needs to be part of action with Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne.
Yeah.
I think that would be beneficial to all three of them. I think it'd be like just a really cool thing to do with those three. Is just have them come down to a ring together. He looks like this suave ladies man and like the greatest thing to on God's green earth. And I think it'd be best for all three of their careers if they did something like that.
They did it, though. I would like to see him in the ring less. Not that we see him in the ring all that often anyway.
Yeah.
And him basically be a manager for Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne as a women's tag team.
Yeah.
Occasionally they'll come out and support him in a singles match, but mostly he's their manager and helps them win.
Pretty much call themselves like Finest Enterprise or something like that.
Who knows? It's
kind
a great idea.
of like Titus Worldwide, but the finest.
So the best part of this match was after Trent Seven gets the victory and he goes to high-five the fans, and he gets grabbed up by one fan in particular, and it took me a minute to realize what the fuck was happening. But it was Eddie Dennis had grabbed Trent Seven's hand and wouldn't let go. And to the point Trent Seven had to pull his hand off. That's what she said. Is this Eddie Dennis coming back soon, or is this like Eddie Dennis coming back in January?
I think it'll be January, but at the same time, this is at least a good start. Because now it looks like he's actually going to go for the targets that he should have been out to go after in the first place.
You think they're going to give him any warm-up matches against jobbers between now and Trent Seven at... not War Games, TakeOver Blackpool 2.
I'm going to say, I think we have the... don't we have the Worlds Collide thing before that even?
Yeah, but that's just a...
Yeah, I think he'll have at least one jobber match back, and then he'll go against Trent Seven. So, and then from there, the sky's the limit, really.
So Radzy's back, and he finds Ilya Dragunov on his way in, who seems to wear those fake contact lenses everywhere he goes. He's coming to work. He's got them on.
Who says he doesn't have naturally red eyes?
Yeah, those are totally natural. He has some about Ilya turning on Imperium and joining up with Gallus 2 weeks ago. And he says basically that Wolf, being the one that recruited him, is always telling him what to do because he used to be his mentor.
One of his trainers.
And he's going to step out from underneath that shadow tonight in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay.
His English is getting better.
That's your notes on it.
Yeah.
Any notes for you, Mark?
I think he's got like the in-ring and out-ring during the promos. I think he's got like some of the best facial expressions in the business, man. Like, I don't know, like even especially like when he's in the ring. So I'm definitely sold on anything he does. And I actually got a hot take on where they're going with him too, and I'm gonna say that for the end though.
All right, our second match of the night: Jack Stars versus A-Kid, and who didn't know who was going to win this match?
I was really pulling for Jack Stars.
He actually thought Jack Stars.
I thought Jack Stars was gonna win,
but he forgets that A-Kid beat Cassius Ohno
by count out
2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Still though, he's got that victory. He is undefeated, even though it's only one match.
Give Jack Stars a win. Like that's what they need to give the guy a win, just for that slap that he got on his chest from Walter in that first episode. You think that would be, or Walter's first match? You think that'd be some sort of compensation? The fact that he's on every opening to NXT UK now, but no, I think he deserves a win.
No, not tonight. The best he got was countering an armbar into a single arm power bomb, and he got a near fall out of it. But somewhere, A-Kid like flips him in the air with an armbar, but then turns it over into. It looked like he was going to hit not a label lock,
mm-hmm.
but brings it over into a Rings of Saturn, and he gets the almost instantaneous, I'd say, submission because he couldn't tap out. He was just yelling that he submits.
Yeah.
He gives up. I think he was yelling tap out is what he was doing. Tap out, tap out. I'd say uncle. That's when I was a kid, that's what it was.
Michael!
Somebody puts you on a chicken wing and makes you say uncle. There you
go.
Yep. It's standard. This match didn't surprise me at all. I don't know. A-Kid didn't wrestle any better than the jobber that he was in the ring with, honestly.
He really didn't. There was really nothing flashy about the guy in any way, shape, or form.
There it is.
Yeah.
What do you think about this match, Griff?
It was a little slow-paced. It was a lot of technical work, a lot of groundwork there for a little bit, it seemed like. I don't even think they went to the outside the whole match. I don't even think there was any flips or anything. I think it was all just in-base groundwork for the most part, and like I said, I thought I didn't think Jack Stars was going to win at any point, but especially I thought the anonymous kid, I think he's going to be taking a good push here. I think they might be trying to go over by saying that he's been endorsed by Tyler Bate, and I guess that could be in segue to the next segment, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
So backstage, we've got an interview with Ginny and with Jazzy Gabbard. Of course, Jazzy's not being interviewed because she doesn't really talk. Ginny talks about Rhea Ripley and how she basically scared her off to NXT, and then talks about Piper Niven, who gets a couple of wins and then a couple of what you call them, vignettes or video montages and a sob story, and now she thinks she can go for the championship. And so this promo harkens for me back to Bianca Belair, and I'm like, this seems familiar. Where you're saying if you want to go for the title, you're going to have to go through me.
Yeah, Jenny has become the gatekeeper for the NXT UK title, women's title.
So that's what we got here. Any notes?
Not really, no.
Chris?
It's still very Lex Luthor and Nuclear Man kind of shenanigans with those two.
during that promo, the timing of the WWE Network was off by like 4 seconds. So I heard it and I was watching it and it didn't match up and I just didn't even see anything.
He got too annoyed by the sound quality of the program to the point where he couldn't even make heads or tails if it was a good promo or not.
Well, hopefully the app fixed it by the next segment, because this is another promo, but this is in ring. James Drake and Zach Gibson come out, the grizzled young veterans, and they say all of the same old bullshit. They just can't say that they are currently the tag champs. They just said that they should be standing out there as the tag champs because, way back when in Cardiff, they had that stipulation that made it a triple threat, which ultimately led to them losing the titles and blah blah blah. They want a rematch for the titles, and we got NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2 coming up in January, and they want an opportunity.
I think it's going to be a 4-way ladder match. It's either going to be that, or we're going to get the we're going to get the 8-man tag with the Gallus versus Imperium, but I think in the long run that'll probably end up being the case. We'll possibly get the triple threat ladder match for the tag belts, because we haven't had a tag ladder match yet, have we, in NXT UK?
I don't believe so.
We haven't had one for the tag team championships, and if you throw in Flash Warrior Webster and
Have they had a ladder match for any titles in NXT UK?
not yet.
So there we go.
Yeah, I think that'd be an ideal way to do it. And that'd take it set aside from the other Blackpool.
This only makes sense for one of two reasons. Either they are going to be either the team or one of the teams that challenges for the titles, or they are going to help set up a new team that is going to go into like the tag team main event picture for the titles.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to say brand new, because I can't think of another team on the roster right now that they could even put together that would be worth that. Worth sacrificing the grizzled young veterans to make them look good.
Bring the Revival over.
Maybe.
That way they can win the NXT UK or tag championship as well.
Yeah, there you go. So after this, we get Jordan Devlin backstage in front of a TV, much like we do every week. And he is bringing us the highlights of NXT UK. Just so happens they're all highlights of him. I didn't see this coming. I guess it's better than your traditional video package where they would just do all of that footage anyway. In this case, he's commentating on his own video footage. So I'm okay with it. It wasn't great or anything, but it was
it's showing more of his personality. Like we already know he's a badass in the ring. He's got this awesome ring presence. His win-loss record is just amazing. But now we're actually getting to see more of his like cocky side, more of his humor. He's actually getting better writing, is what he's getting. Because like that whole like never bet against the ace thing was still kind of flimsy. Because we established that you also have the Joker card. And the Joker can pretty much be anything.
So we've determined that a lot of the stuff that we've had ideas about have come to fruition on NXT UK. It's just one of those things that we're probably just that good at predicting shit. That stuff that doesn't matter when it comes to predictions videos.
Or we're just being watched.
Or the No DQ Cup. Or, we're being watched, which we're broadcasting it. So
thank you.
Watch all you want. Yeah, thanks for the view.
Yeah.
So here's my crazy idea here. And it's not bringing the Revival in, although that's not a terrible idea. If they're going to do this with Jordan Devlin, and he's going to do commentary on the highlights of NXT UK, next time it doesn't need to just be him. It needs to be stuff that he can make funny comments about, and they need to do it Mystery Science Theater 3000 style.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
His silhouette needs to be sitting in front of the screen, and maybe he's got pals. He doesn't seem to be the kind of person to have pals, but maybe he's got a plant or something. Maybe he brings Mitch from the main roster now that he's bloomed into something that's got a silhouette. Just, does commentary, sitting back, with some popcorn, watching the highlights of NXT UK, and he just tears into them. Just an idea.
I wouldn't mind him actually, if they actually start pushing it a little bit harder, having him team with Joseph Connors. I think him and Joseph Connors would make a pretty cool team.
Joseph Connors would just hold him back from the mid-card title that doesn't exist yet. Moving on.
Yes.
Oliver Carter versus the debuting Ridge Holland, who is a big bitch.
Yes, he is.
For NXT UK, which is home to the midgets. I mean, NXT is home enough for most of the smaller guys, but NXT UK, you've got Walter and you've got Dave Mastiff, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Now you have Ridge Holland, who is... He's probably a little bit taller than me, but, he looks kind of short, but he is built like a brick shithouse. Holy fuck. This dude is big, and he basically throws around Oliver Carter a little bit. He ragdolls him when he puts him in this rear naked choke. Just
I actually thought that was going to be the end of the match right there.
He hits a pounce on him that turns him inside out in midair. And his music is really cool. It reminds me of some WrestleMania pay-per-view music, pay-per-view theme music for SummerSlam or some shit. Like it's some seriously they bought this music from somebody, not just created it in a studio for a wrestler. Anyway, I like his music. I like the look. I think his little billy club is a little small, but whatever. It just doesn't look impending. I'm sure it's hard, and he can use it as a foreign object. But anyway, just a nitpick.
All right, Griff. Do we actually see Ashton Smith or Oliver Carter ever really doing anything here except for losing?
It's hard to tell, especially after watching the promo with Noam Dar. I like Oliver Carter's from West Africa, and he was trained by Marty Jones. He's definitely athletic. I don't know if they need to do something. I don't know if it's a gimmick change or something, but I feel like they could possibly do something with him, but it's going to have to be right.
Yeah. But, Cindy brought up on one of the first times we saw Ashton Smith that he's been more of a heel in the other promotions that he's been in, and that's why he's not really going so much over his face here at NXT UK. So maybe that's what they need at this point. Maybe they need to turn him into a heel, but at the same time, if he's not getting any wins as a face at this point, or getting any reaction from the crowd, Oliver Carter, at one point, more power to him, he tried to get the crowd into this match, and it just didn't happen unless he was getting the crap knocked out of him.
Yeah. Holland with the pounce, a big headbutt, and then a snowplow that he calls the Northern Grit for the pinfall. And again, who didn't see that coming? Oliver Carter debuted as a jobber. He will continue to be a jobber until he's paid his dues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Zaya Brookside has paid her dues for a year, and she's still a jobber.
Mm-hmm.
She got all this big old push for that match with Kaylee Ray, and Kaylee Ray just wiped the floor with her.
I think it's also the fact that she probably told her dad she doesn't need his help. He's like, well, okay.
I think the point here is to get TV time at the very least, and if they're going to put him and Ashton Smith, because Ashton Smith comes out and checks on him at the end of this match, if they're going to put them together, sure, make a tag team out of them and at least give them something to do, something to continue to hone their craft, get a character established, and thus maybe someday they'll have a singles storyline that takes them to a belt or something. Who knows? Maybe by then we'll have the European Championship.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make the correction too. I had my notes mixed up. Holland was trained by Marty Jones, not Oliver Carter. I said I had West Africa.
I was wondering that because I was like, for some reason that doesn't sound right, but maybe I heard it wrong. Because I was still thinking, man, this guy's music's cool. And he's got a cool entrance.
So we get a video recap of Joseph Connors last week coming out during the Ligero and Travis Banks match and attacking Ligero, costing him the victory, and getting Travis Banks the victory by nefarious means, and then attacking Travis Banks, laying them both out, getting on the mic, and cutting a Dolph Ziggler-esque promo that ends with him saying if he's going to suffer, everybody else is going to suffer with him.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally everything that happened in that match that's worth remembering. And I dug it, and this was so short. So they recapped that, and then they went to Travis Banks, who said that, what did he say?
He rather not have had the win be on those kind of means.
Yeah, and he says that Connors is out of order. Ligero says he got robbed of a victory, and the fans got robbed of a good match. And then they showed Joseph Connors in the back, who just says he's glad he made a good impression on everybody.
Yep.
Very nonchalant.
He might as well have just said fuck him.
If only.
That would have been such much better television. Just fuck him. Just had the F, but then had the bleep after.
So is this going to be a triple threat match, or is this going to be Ligero and Travis Banks joining up, and Connors has to find a tag team partner?
I'm thinking it's going to be a triple threat match at TakeOver.
It's a long ways away.
It'd be a good build for it. It could very well be one on the second or third night of this place, which I haven't even mentioned this yet. The camera work here and the crowd here is pretty great. So, this is our first night, I believe, in the city that they're in. So
yeah, I don't know if they mentioned what venue they were at, but we didn't get it.
They didn't mention the venue, but they mentioned the place because that's where Ridge Holland's actually from. So
yeah, he got a hell of a cheer when he said his place of origin. I can't remember what it was.
Yep.
Somewhere in England, and
yeah, that narrows it down.
The ring announcer paused after he said where he was from, and then continued. So yeah. After this, we get Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter in the back. I guess Ashton is still helping a limping Oliver get back to the dressing room.
So our day will come. We'll eventually get a victory.
Yeah, it's all about that one elusive victory.
Yep.
I don't think either one has had a victory yet.
No, they haven't.
Singles or tag team. And Noam Dar comes out of some locker room or something. Maybe he was taking a piss. And starts applauding Oliver Carter. Great job out there. Great loss.
Great job. Good job.
And then Ashton Smith starts talking smack back and essentially challenges him to a match next week. And Noam Dar doesn't really accept it, but I feel like we're going to see that match.
Yeah. They even hyped the match because we know it's just what's going to happen.
He just says don't start some shit in the hallway because he only gets paid for what he does in the ring. And he doesn't need somebody to carry him back from a loss because he's a one-man show.
Yep.
Something like that.
Well, he's going Dar, pretty much that's his way of saying yes.
So is this where Ashton Smith gets a win over Noam Dar, or is we just building up Noam Dar some more?
We're just giving Noam Dar something to do to keep him back on television.
What do you think, Griff? You got Ashton Smith or Noam Dar?
I got my notes, Noam Dar. I think if they do make the match, I think he'll go over next week.
Speaking of next week, we also get Piper Niven versus Jenny. And, sure, okay. If we have Jazzy Gabbert out there at ringside, I expect Jenny to win.
Mm-hmm.
If not, Piper Niven. And we are on to the main event. We're only 27 minutes in. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't really a lot to talk about, match-wise here. There's more to talk about during the segments.
So we've got Ilya Dragunov versus Alexander Wolf. And,
who didn't think this match was going to be great,
It was great in a different way.
Yeah.
It wasn't a whole lot of ground and pound or rest holds. But it wasn't as exciting as, let's say, the main event that we had the last 3 NXT shows.
Yeah. Well, they have a lot more, I guess you can say TV time. and also more time to build it. So, you gotta think this match was just made after what, last week or the week prior. So he asked for a match last week, and he gets the match this week. So, like, there wasn't really much else to build to, short of like Wolf extending the invitation, Dragunov showing that he was going to accept the invitation, and now we got the match.
What do you think about the main event, Griff?
I like the main event. My opinion before the match is like I don't think you guys agree with me, but I still feel like that Dragunov's going to end up joining Imperium. Okay, so before I even say that, keep that in mind as I'm watching this. I noticed the commentary was kind of mentioning how Gallus would be proud when Dragunov was having his offense, having his time, and I kept thinking, I was like, man, they're really pushing and I'm like, Gallus and Dragunov isn't with Gallus officially yet, as far as I know. Like, I mean, he stood with him, but even at the end of this segment, like, Gallus did run out, but he never got him. He was just laid up there at the mat. He was staring up at him, but he never stood next to him. I haven't yet. I mean, they did come out and defend him, but they didn't stand next to him. They haven't really said they were together.
The point of it.
What's that?
The point of it is that they came out to help Dragunov. They didn't have to. You know, they could pick a fight with Imperium any other day. They specifically came out to keep Dragunov from getting his ass whooped by 4 dudes. And that's what they did.
Well,
so he showed his loyalty to them and then backed it up with the match with Wolf. And then they showed that they're willing to, at the very least, pay back, you know, him joining them and keeping it from being, like I said last week, it would have been a 5-on-3 beatdown had he not switched sides.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that Gallus would consider it a 5-on-3 beatdown. I think they still would think they beat up 5 dudes and would have ruled the ring anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they came out and helped him. That is big. That is significant. Jerry, what do you think about this main event?
I liked it a lot for a couple different reasons. One, it was a very physical contest, which I wasn't expecting like any less out of those two. There's a lot of hard strikes. There's a lot of high impact moves. Like towards the end there, we saw the superplex, and it was like picture perfect. It really was. And I actually stopped to talk to you about was the fact that the superplex, when I was growing up, was just a cool move to watch. But now, like growing up and analyzing these shows more, I realize how complex a move that truly is. And for how fluid it came off that way, and the impact and just the grace and balance of it was just perfect. But what I really liked most about this match was how Wolf, like as he tried to maintain, like, you know, that he's a professional, the ring is sacred, and all this other stuff. At one point, he picks up the cables, ready to choke the fucking life out of Dragunov, but he's like, you know what? No. Then he grabs the chair at one point, ready to bash his head in. Can't do it. No. And sets it back down. It's one of these things where if he couldn't beat him wrestling, he didn't want to beat him, and he kept on getting him back in the ring to do that. But at the same time, like at the end when Imperium rushed the ring, I think he would have taken the victory that way too, because at least he would have had comrades with them. But this match was just, I think, perfect front to back.
I don't know about perfect. The first...
For what it needed to be, it was perfect.
The first 2/3 of the match were completely out of Dragunov's wheelhouse. Like, he is exciting as a fast-paced wrestler. That's why we say he looks like he comes out on a lot of cocaine.
Yeah.
Let alone the eye contacts that he wears.
I'll say it right now. His entrance is probably the best one, like one of the best ones in NXT UK.
It's just that poor floor, man. He smacks the shit out of it. So, my first note here is of Dragunov, because he's got this amazing power for a guy his size, and he hits a gotch bomb on Wolf, where it looks like a gotch neutralizer, but he flips it over into a power bomb, and then a cradle. I call it a cradle German suplex. It's a German suplex, only one arm is up under the junk, and he suplexes him, and I think he gets a near fall off of a bridge. Let's see what else I got here. Dragunov hits a coast to coast onto Wolf's knee. This sets up a very short story about Wolf having a bad knee. It does help because I think Wolf goes for a German at one point, but he can't hit it because his knee gives out. But after the coast to coast on the knee, Dragunov goes up top and he goes for that senton bomb and actually catches the knees from Wolf, who does eventually hit a bridging German for a near fall, and then the superplex for a near fall, and then they trade off and he goes for a lariat, and then Dragunov ducks it, and then he does the 619 into the line.
The 6-1 line.
Right, the 6-1 line.
I like the name for it, the 6-1 line.
So takes him down, and he sets up and starts, motioning to the crowd for the Moscow Torpedo, or Torpedo Moscow, whatever it is. At this point, Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner come down. They get up on the apron. He has to knock them off the apron. Then he turns around and goes to do the torpedo, but gets caught with a DDT from mid-air.
That was sick looking.
But only a 2 count. But immediately, Alexander Wolf picks him up, hits him with that sit-out powerbomb number 1. 1, 2, 3. Alexander Wolf gets the victory here. And then they start the 4-on-1 beatdown. Imperium on Ilya. And then we hear Gallus' music, and they come out and they fend off Imperium, basically 3-on-4, because Ilya did not get up.
We didn't get the music till afterwards. They just rushed the ring.
And that brings us to the end of the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And here on, let's see, what is this? The NXT party.
Yeah.
We like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. And out of 5 spots of NXT, Griff, where do you rate this main event?
Probably a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. There was a couple of spots that I liked. I liked the rapid fire chop spot that Dragunov did. That was cool. And what was the other spot? When he did the coast to coast, where Wolf smiled because he didn't think he was gonna reach him. That was cool. He still reached him. That was kind of funny. But either way, I give it a 4.
Jerry.
I give the match itself a 3 3/4 because it was actually a really great main event, and it's set up for what we're going to possibly see here in the future with the 4-on-4, which will be nice. That and Alexander Wolf on his entrance, he looks more intimidating than the rest of Imperium. I don't know what it is. Even Walter, he actually looks like he looks more wild-eyed and intense than Walter does. But I'm actually going to give it an extra quarter, not off the back of a whole bunch of great matches or whatnot, but the fact that we got so much set up for the next ones. Because, like I said, each one, at the end of each match, you had something setting up towards a match on a later card. So it just kind of gave you little samplings of what's going to be happening.
So otherwise known as a filler episode.
Yeah, pretty much that's all it was. But at the same time, it was a nice build to the next episode.
Well,
they worked a lot into that hour.
At best, Cardiff is in mid-January or late to mid-January, and this can start some feuds that might lead into Blackpool 2.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say Cardiff? My bad. Take over Blackpool 2. So maybe, but at best, this was. I was thinking about giving it a quarter spot of tea off the back of a great show, but I can't really. But I will give it an extra quarter spot of tea off of the finish to all of this and the aftermatch, because it was extremely satisfying. It was exactly what it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Wolf gets the victory because Imperium is shady and they came out for the distraction. Up until then, it could have been either guy.
Yep.
Dragunov even kicked out of that DDT, and that was a wicked-looking DDT.
Oh, that just kind of... It actually surprised me they actually kicked out of that, but then for him to pick up and do the powerbomb right afterwards emphatically ended the match, and I thought that was really great.
And I was going to start it at 3.5 for the match itself.
Yeah.
Good, solidly good.
A solid good match, jolly good.
So I'm gonna end it at 3 3/4 spots of NXT. for this main event. So that brings us to the end of this episode of the NXT Party. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Griff. Mark's Reviews, ladies and gentlemen. Find him on YouTube.
Yep.
Where else can we find you?
Mark's Reviews, Mark Griffith on Facebook, Ashley Reynolds on Facebook. Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, if you'd like to be up here and join us on a future episode of the NXT Party, come have a spot of NXT with us and review a future episode of NXT UK. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's Stefan. If you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, Osborne. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter. Fuck bomb.
At General_JSJ in my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR, exclamation point. And you join us there for all sorts of group discussions and memes and just general malarkey. Don't try to add Stefan around on Facebook because it just won't happen.
No, we don't add you back on Facebook. That's our spoiler-free zone. But you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram now at osborne.stefan, where I have a profile picture, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no content, so I'm not going to come across your news feed, so that's cool. So go follow me there. I'm trying to get to triple digits just for goose, for shits and giggles. Also, I have a Patreon. If you want to help me with all the shit that I spend money on to make the show better, then you can go find me there at Stefan R. Osborne. And donate if you can, but if you don't have any money to donate, if you have a minute, it's free. Absolutely free. Like, legitimately, click the subscribe button and click the share button. Share it with your friends on Facebook or Twitter. If they like watching wrestling, they might like watching us bullshit about wrestling. We're just trying to grow the channel, try to get to 1,000 so we can actually go live, because I haven't figured it out. If you like the video, click the like button. If you like all of our videos, click the subscribe button and the bell icon, because when we figure out how to go live, we are going to go live with every show. Because I got the green screen, and once we get it up, it's going to be really cool, but we're going to have to go live to do it, because I don't know how to do it otherwise. Wrap it up, Stefan. We're only at 40 minutes. We got time.
Yeah, but you're rambling.
Yeah, I think that's all the plugs, though. So, for the Griff, Mark Griffith, for the General Jerry Slaughter, the Gentleman, I'm the Wizard of NXT, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you NXT time.